designs and change it with some new beautiful paper from Stampin' Up. Today we're going to be working with the Valley in Bloom Designer Series paper from Stampin' Up, available to customers in May. But if you're a demo, you can get it now. So stay tuned for this video to see how I transform this card design using this beautiful new paper. Hi everyone, Marianne Cowan here from Pinery Paper Crafts. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator here in Ottawa, Canada, and I go live Fridays at 3 to share card ideas, inspiration, and showcase some beautiful Stampin' Up products. So today we're going to be working with the Valley in Bloom Designer Series paper. I love Lily of the Valley. In fact, I had Lily of the Valley in my wedding flowers. So it is beautiful, although I did find out that it's very invasive in your garden, but still very beautiful. So we're going to be using it, and just a quick peek at the cards from my upcoming April 18th floral class. And in that class, I've actually featured 2 cards using this Lily of the Valley Designer Series paper. And on a sadder note, this embossing folder, one of my favorite embossing folders, beautiful pattern embossing folder, is in the last chance list. So just for this one card class, I've used it on 3 different cards. So here I have it as the background, and there's that beautiful Lily of the Valley paper. Here I've used it as the border edge, and that paper is just so pretty. Here again, I've used it as the border. It's just such a nice subtle background embossing folder. And this paper, oh my gosh, it's got velvety flecks in it. It's so pretty. And here's the last one that will be with card class. It's April 18th, and there's details on my blog, mariannecowan.com. Kits are available to ship anywhere in Canada, and the PDF tutorial will be available next week. So make sure you rush to the last chance list. It's under deals on my online website, and pick up this amazing embossing folder if you don't already have it. It's one you really need in your stash. So it's on the last chance list, sadly. But today I am going to make a card using the Valley in Bloom, and it's this was a card a design I had made, and I don't know who I got the design from, but a few years back when we had this beautiful paper, I made this one in purples, and then this one in green that looks like mint macadam. So when I do my cards, I often, usually, when I remember, put a little sticky on the back, especially my favorite ones. My ones that are my favorite designs, I kind of keep in a special place so that I can recreate them with new product. So this one, I have the scoring and measurements on it, and I will do a blog post as well, so you can find out exactly how to make this card. It looks really complicated, but actually it's pretty easy. So I am going to show you how to cut the paper, just so that you will see how easy it is, and then it will be in the video. So I'll slide this over here. Oh, just the Valley in Bloom paper has all these beautiful ones, as well as 2 larger sheets, and this one would be beautiful for scrapbooking, but I've also used it in cards. And this is actually the one that I've used on the card we're going to make today. Beautiful. It's beautiful. And I've also used this new Sunset Shimmer Vellum paper. It comes in, what does it list the color as? Balmy Blue, Iridescent, which is what I used, and Barely Blush. And I will tell you, when I got my nails done this week, I got them done as close as I could find to Barely Blush. The cardstock is a little closer. So Barely Blush, Balmy Blue, and Iridescent. Now it is a vellum, however, it's not as see-through as some vellums. So you can see it's a little bit see-through, but not as see-through as some vellums. But it is beautiful, and I cannot wait to create with it. So I did use it in this card that we're going to make. All right, so let me show you how to cut the paper. So here I chose, I forget already, Barely Blush to match my nails. It's not the one we're going to be using, but it's the one that I will use for the demo. So here are the instructions. Oh, geez, I cut it wrong. Hang on. So that's will be saved for another card. This one is 11 by 5.5. Start again. And then we're going to score it at 1 3/4. Just going to get some of this stuff out of the way. 1 3/4. So scoring. I have mine, I think, opposite, and I have a little label on it that says score. So score is here. 1 3/4, 3.5, 5 1/4, and 7. I'll pull this arm out. So I hope I'm still in camera. 7. Okay, so let's just scoot that back in. Okay, so that's the trick, that's the easy part. Now the only tricky part, I'm just doing this so I can see the fold lines. So now we're going to turn it like this, and we're going to cut the slits at 1 1/4. And we're cutting the slits between the first panel and the fourth panel, not on the big side, between the first one and the fourth one. So let's see if I can do this on camera. So 1 1/4. Now we do have this nice little mark on our cutting blade, so you can see where your line is. That's why I kind of folded it ahead of time. So we're going from this one down to this one. So I just turned it sideways because then I can see where to stop. Okay, that should be pretty good. Now we're going to flip it over and do it here. So 1 1/4, to make sure it's at 1 1/4. And again, okay, it moved. We're going, oh, it's this one that's making it move. I just want to flip it up because I can't really see there. Okay, that's good. So again, we're going from this one over to this one. So I'm going to put this down. When you do it sideways, it's way easier. So I can see that that's lined up, and I'm just going to go from here to here. So I don't know if you can see it, but there's that little slit here that shows you where to line it up. All right. Let's hope I did this right. Now I always have to look at this to see how to fold it. So you're going to fold this one in like this, my bone folder, and then a mountain fold. Now here's the tricky part, because this is going to fold the opposite way. Mountain fold. So this is going to fold this way. Is that right? Mountain fold. There we go. Okay, so let me do that again. Fold this one in, then a mountain fold. Then this one is going to be a mountain fold as well. Mountain, valley, mountain, and then this middle one, mountain. Just kind of fold it carefully so you don't fold this and mess it up. All right, so there we have our base. And then when you open it up, you have this beautiful design. So you can see here. Do you ever do this? Sometimes I leave it blank because I'm not sure what I want to use it for. All right, so that's our base in Beautiful Barely Blush. But now I'll show you what we're actually making. So I decided to use Basic Beige. I'll leave this here in case you want to get it done before I get the post up, because the post will not be up until later. So there are a lot of pieces. So here you can see I've used the arches, the everyday arches, which thankfully are not on the last chance list. So I've used this side for the vellum in iridescent, and then I cut just a little, when I was cutting my pieces, I had all these little pieces. Well, I had a couple of pieces because I cut it wrong. So I had this piece for the front, and then this piece with just a little bit for the back, for the inside, I mean. Now, if you need a bigger sentiment piece, you could do the larger arch. I just did the small one, just because that's how it worked out. All right, and then I took one of those bigger sheets. It was this one, and so it's one of the corners. You can see that. So I cut it twice as big as I needed. And then I had this piece and the next piece that I'll show you. And then the other pieces are from a little further along. So I'll keep that one. And then I've also used this piece of the Designer Series paper. So same pack. That's why I went with Barely Beige. So this one's going to go here. And then all of these little ones are going to go. So now it's just a matter of putting it all together. Well, once you cut out all these pieces, so you're going to have these two pieces that are 5 1/4 by 1 5/8. So that goes there. This one is going to go here. So you can see this is all the same. So I just cut it big and then cut it in half. And then we have this one, which is going to go here. I don't know where that one's from, to be honest. And then we have all these little ones. You could use the green actually, but I'm going to go matchy-matchy. So these little ones are 1 by 3 3/4. No, that's not right. These are 2 3. Let me measure how big these are. Whoa. The place is falling apart. These are 1 1/4 by 1 5/8. I don't even have that measurement listed there. So I'll correct it for the when I do my blog post. So then we have 4 of these. And then we have 4 by 5 1/4 for here. And then these ones are 1, no they're not. 1 5/8 by 2 7/8. I did this one instead of 2 3/4. All right, stay tuned for the measurements, because these ones I'm going to take away because those are not actually accurate. Well, they kind of are, but kind of not. Okay, let's just start with the basic pieces that I know where they're going to go. This paper, the backs are really pretty as well. And they coordinate really nicely. Now I could have put one more layer under this, but I already had a lot of paper cut out for this card, so I opted not to. And then this one, see how pretty that would have been nice too. I think I was sad about that embossing folder leaving, so I picked the paper that kind of reminds me of it. So for these pieces, I want to make sure I line up the tops. So that's kind of where your eye is drawn to make sure the tops line up. And this one's going to go here. I didn't put a sentiment on it yet because I'm still waiting for my stamp set to come, and it has some nice sentiments in it that I want to use. Okay, so now we're going to glue on our little pieces. So once you have everything cut out, this goes together very quickly. We've got that little one. Again, making sure it's lined up at the top. And really, you don't need to add all of these pieces of DSP, but you know what? Why not? If you're like me, you always end up with a whole bunch of little scraps about this size anyways, so this is a perfect use for them. There we go. So it's just making sure everything is put together. Then we have our front panel. This paper is so beautiful, you just hate to put anything over top of it. That's why I like this design, because only a little bit of it's going to be covered. Now I'm going to flip it over and just give it a good rub. Okay, so you can kind of see where we're going. The paper keeps moving. So here we go. So pretty, and it's not hard. So I am going to go ahead and glue this on and then bravely stamp the sentiment after, or add an already done sentiment. So the only thing we want to make sure is when we put this piece on, that this piece underneath is behind it, so you can't see it. So, and I don't really want to see any of this, although you could trim it off, so I am going to move this, and plus I don't want to cover up this. I'm going to put this here, and normally I would really love to put dimensionals on it, but because I'm going to be taking it off to stamp the sentiment later, I may not. Or I may just put one here just to show you. Then I can peel it off. This is not usually how I design my cards, but hey, this is real life in the studio. So again, I want to make sure, so that's not good. I want to make sure that I've covered these edges. So really you have to go almost to the bottom of this piece here. And now this looks good. So I was thinking this would be fairly centered. And let's just check. Make sure you can't see it. Yeah. You can still see that tiny little corner, but that's okay. All right, and then we're just going to add this. So I'm thinking, and I'm going to put it down, then close it, and then do a quick check. Yeah, that's good. So like I said, if you need more room than that to write your sentiment, although you could write on this, it's very light color anyways, you could use the larger of the arches and then you get a bit more, but you have to be a little more careful about where you put it. Actually, now that I look, it's not anywhere near behind here, but it is covered up by the whole piece. All right, I just have one dimensional here and I'm not pushing it down because I'm going to take it off later. All right, so there we have our beautiful card made with the lily. It's not Lily of the Valley, although that's what the flower is. It's the Valley in Bloom designer series paper. Isn't that pretty? It really showcases these bigger pieces that you don't want to put on the front of a card and then just cover it up. So here we go. All right. Thank you for joining me. And don't forget, if you're interested in my upcoming card class, which is Pretty Florals. No, that's not the name of it. Yeah, it is. Pretty Florals. It's on April 18th. We are featuring 2 cards using the Valley in Bloom Designer Series paper. This one. And in this card class, we're making 9 cards. So you're making 2 each of these designs, and then 1 wow card. And then these ones feature a different paper. Let me just grab it here. It is called Velvet Meadow. And on this paper, it has flocking, like velvet, on all of these pieces, on one side of every piece. It's absolutely gorgeous. This one would make a beautiful wedding card, I think. So stay tuned, I will try that. And don't forget, beautiful pattern embossing folder is on the last chance list, so grab yours because it is a staple in my craft room. Now, I did forget it, and I even took it out so I'd remember to add Wink of Stella to these Lily of the Valley. I cannot wait until we get the new glitter pens that are in the new in colors. So imagine using the Barely Blush glitter pen on these Lily of the Valley. It's going to be gorgeous. So there, I've got it on the front. I'm not going to, you could go inside and do all those ones as well, but I will do that later. But you can see how pretty that is. Okay, so a really fun fold that looks really complicated but really isn't. And if you missed the start of the video, I did show you exactly how to do the cutting. This will be on my blog, mariannecowan.com. And if you're interested in ordering the beautiful pattern embossing folder from my online store, then you can hop on and get it off the last chance list. There is a lot of stuff on the last chance list, so I would seriously go in and, now I have to do this, I would go in and see what it is that you want to have in your stash. Some stuff is on sale, some isn't, but once it's gone, it's hard to find. And then you're wishing that you had purchased it. All right, thanks for joining me. I do appreciate it if you like or share my video. If you're watching the replay, I invite you to subscribe to my channel and hit that notification button so that you will know when I go live with a new video. All right, thanks everyone, and have a great day.